This is a repair of a Morrisson pillbox, a very small piece, very rare piece. You'll notice there's a chip missing. There was a chip missing out of the top trim on this. Now, if this was going to be a painted piece, I would go ahead and just glue in what we would call a Dutchman, which would go right in here, and then hand carve it off, and then fill it and paint it, and it would be invisible. This particular piece, though, is natural finish, so we can't do that. It's made out of boxwood. And we had to get the right boxwood to match, and we decided to use a French boxwood. The theory, what we're going to do here is make a new piece for the top, and it'll be sort of like a cap. This will all be taken off, and a new piece will be slipped on top of it, and we'll make that on the lathe. And then we'll finish off the whole piece. So we're actually going to leave everything intact and make like a cap, like you would put a crown on a tooth, and it'll match the original, and that will get rid of the chip, and it'll be like brand new. And so that's the theory, and that's the direction we're going to take. Okay, this is the beginning of making the blank. This is a small piece of French boxwood, and we've turned it to a rough outside diameter. And we're going to set the camera up, and I'll show you the turning process and how we make that little piece that's going to go in there.
You're on.
Okay, and we're going to make the this little ring that we talked about here. We've got the blank in the lathe, and we've put the calipers on the side. We're going to turn this blank to the outer circumference or diameter of this. So we're going to duplicate the outer diameter first. Cut it with the gouge. And now that I'm getting closer to the diameter, I'm going to go ahead and use the this tool. Okay, we're going to leave it a little oversized so when we sand it, it'll come down to the right size. The next thing I'm going to do is this is going to replace this piece, and so it's going to have a little recess in to fit over the top of it. This is all going to be cut away, but right now we're using this as the template. So we have to cut a little recess. The total dimension from here of the piece that I'm going to make is 1/4 inch. So I'm going to cut a little recess in the end of this now so that it will slip over the top of that. We just reset the lathe. Okay, that's just about 1/8 of an inch deep. Now we're going to duplicate this little radius on this for half of the piece. Now the piece is going to be 1/4 inch in thickness. Yeah. So let's make a mark so we know what thickness we're working with on this. This is the whole piece when we're finished. Take our parting tool so we know where we're going to stop. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Now we've left this shaft, which is all going to be cut away. I've left this a wider diameter than the bore, so when I bore it, it really won't. It should not separate this piece. I'll have to cut the rest off with a saw. Otherwise, if I bored it through, it would probably just shatter the whole thing. So this is the most tricky part of the whole thing, to see if we can keep this little piece intact. cut through, and we should be cutting through the hole, so we won't be cutting a solid piece here. We're not deep enough yet. Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, perfect. Here we have replacement piece that will go on the top. We're just going to finish this off with a little sandpaper there. And the next thing to do is to prepare the top to receive it. This is going to go right over the top like that. And this will all, of course, come off.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead now and start to route this off so that piece will fit over it. First, we're going to take this back to here. Okay, and you can see what we're doing here now. This recess is going to fit up in here. And now we're going to cut this down. I think we're going to try to do this on the lathe and see if we can do it on that. That's it. That's it. Okay, here's our piece. We're going to sand the top of this, but here's the
Back up a little. Okay.
okay. Okay, this is the finished piece that's going to fit on there, and as you can see, okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we are with the completed piece. We're just going to put a little dab of carpenter's glue. Don't need much. In it. And place the piece on it. Now we'll let that dry and we're ready for finishes on it. That's the completed repair.